That was a great year, thanks to you, the viewers. And here's a little recap. So the beginning of the year, just about every year, is maintenance time when I'm working on the car in the garage. And this year started off with fixing the reservoir, and that was just the seal and, replacing the seal in the reservoir and putting the clamps on there like they should have been in the first place. Did the trick. Didn't see any sign of it the rest of the year. Worked well. And we did the stainless steel brake lines. We were just replacing the rubber ones that were on there. And I was hoping to get a little more pedal feel out of the car and a little more braking. And I don't know if it really did a big difference or nothing really super noticeable if there was a difference. But anyways, we did all four. And as with most things with this car, it turns into an animal. And in this case, getting the wheel off and one of the lugs just started spinning and basically the stud stripped out. And that was a big event, just trying to carve that lug out without wrecking the rim, and so you could at least get that nut off. So it was a real pain and quite an event, but luckily I got lots of patience for it, and we got it off without damaging the rim, and basically got a new stud in there. But as with most things, it's the car, you start it and it turns into something else you weren't expecting to. The other video we did back in the spring was basically showing all the kits that were available. I have all these magazines and kit car magazines, and I get a lot of questions from viewers asking what's available, what kits are available, which ones are authentic, which ones weren't. And that was basically the idea, going through this video and outlining what was available back in the day with all the magazines that I've kept all these years. Thanks to viewers like you, we were able to make some investments in some cameras and some gear to try some different mounts with the car. And this was one of my favorites, is sticking one up on the wing and getting the shot as we went along. And it's a great to have, but worrisome at the same time, especially when you got the cameras up there. And these cameras aren't cheap, but they get some great shots. Also helped with getting some mics, new mics, and so capture sound a little better. Than all that stuff's been thanks to the viewers, because the monetization funds that I get from each of the views out there goes towards basically the cameras and equipment to make things better. And I'm getting there. We took the car to an exotic car show this year, and that was the first time I've done that, where it felt, gotta be honest, a little uncomfortable, because it is a replica, it's not the real deal, and there was lots of the real deals there to see, and gotta love them. That's what inspired us to get into replicas. But anyways, it was actually a good day, and the people were pretty good about it. But I just didn't get that same warm and fuzzy feeling that I do when I go to a classic car show for some reason, and I think it's just because the classic guys, they into customization and things like that, and creating and making the car your own. And a replica is basically a lot of creation is going on there and a lot of fabricating, so I guess those guys relate to it a little better. And who can forget our new co-host? Copper's on board, and of course in the end bits, pretty much every episode you get a taste of what's happening with him, and he's been a lot of fun. And we haven't had a dog in a long time, so it's great to have another one. And he keeps us busy, and he's entertaining at the same time, so he'll be in there in the end bits, as will all the other things with my son, the family, and things that go on around the house. That is part of this that's kind of evolved, where it's not just about the Countach replica, it's a bit about everything around the house. Yes, we did take the car to the dump this year, and part of that was for doing the 0 to 60 times and figuring out the weight of the car. And there was, the day I went there was, I can't remember, I think it was like a Friday afternoon or something, and I couldn't believe the line up there. There was a ton of people there, and you can see as if at the corner of the shot here. So I wasn't expecting that when I went in there. Typically when I go to the dump, you know, and I once in a while will go taking the old Durango and stuff into the dump, and there's not that many people there, but there sure was that day. But doing the 0 to 60 times, well, you know, we kind of got an idea what we ended up at and something to compare with it, sorta. But anyways, it was a lot of fun doing it, and I know the car had a lot more in it. I just couldn't push it that hard to really figure it out. It's my baby. Didn't want to break it, and you know, I don't know. There's something about the car in a while. You just don't want to hurt it. And, you know, that's the way I am with a lot of the cars. And some you can push, and you know you can push, and others you just don't want to do it. One of the other videos near the end of the year was who built the car, Luke Chartrand. And there was a quick video, just, you know, something to let everybody know. I had a lot of questions on who's the builder, and you know, there are some other guys out there. Udo's comes to mind, and he's within my area, and he's a guy you can find on the Facebook groups that he's circling around and building for some of the guys in the area here. The latest update with Luke and the Plethora is, I believe they got orders for 12. He's building, I think, about 6 cars a year. I haven't been able to talk to him. It's like I was saying in the video. His French is, or my French is as good as his English, and neither of us can really do it well. So anyways, I hope things are going well for him. And the Plethora is an amazing car if you ever get a chance to see it. Oh, the end bits. Yeah, I call them the end bits. I don't know why I just came up with that, but it's more or less the other things that are happening around the house. It's either Copper or Blake, or Blake's always got something going. He's my 21-year-old son. He's got 3 cars. And if you followed the channel, you'll know he's got an 86 BMW 318 Ti. He's got a 2013 Subaru STI, and he's got a 1973 Datsun 240Z he's redoing. So that keeps me occupied, and he keeps me entertained with some of the stuff he's doing for himself, for his friends, and all that stuff. So I tend to put that in the end bits, and I hang around and shoot videos when I can, and stick it in there if it's either funny or interesting. And between Blake and Copper, they keep things pretty interesting. It's got the burp now.
That sounds so good.
I'll have to say the highlight of the year was heading down to Carlisle with Blake and loading it up in the trailer and making that big trip. You know, that was a big expense to do that, and it was something I wanted to do for a long time. And I was really glad we did it. You know, it was a fun trip. You know, it was a long trip and interesting and stressful, and you know, we had a strap break on the hills of Pennsylvania with the car. That could have been disastrous, but you know, all was fine. It worked out great, and all was well. And meeting everybody at that show, and you know, we've talked on the forums, and we kind of know of each other, but you never had it face to face. So it was a great opportunity to get to know everybody, and the show was just fantastic. You know, seeing, you know, all the car shows I go to, there's usually only, you know, one kit car there, and it's usually a Cobra. And this was great because it was the first time we've ever been to a show where it's you see more than one kit car there, and it was not just a Cobra. And it was a great show. It was a great turnout. It was excellent to see everybody there, and all topped off by the interview we did with Ron and his 14-year build of that gray Diablo. It's just fantastic. And you know, my videoing didn't really do it justice, but if you saw this car, you just would believe the detail that's gone into it. The update from him is he's still doing work on it. He had some motor issues that he wanted to solve with it, so he was tearing into that and putting it all back together. So looking forward to getting updates on that. Thanks again to all you viewers watching. I think we're up to almost 400,000, getting close to 400,000 views on the channel, and close to 1,000 subscribers. I wouldn't have guessed it. It's fantastic. So thanks a lot for tuning in and watching, and I look forward to next year. And stay tuned, because probably the next video will come out around Christmas time, and I should have some news for you won't want to miss. See ya. Watch it! Not much new. Well, if the wind blew right now, things would be... I saw it move. I'm sure it moved. Whoa, it moved.